Welcome everyone to a brand new episode of Hum Tum and AI. Myself Kaumudi Vaidya from Bharat Seekso. I have with me Som. Good afternoon. How are you doing, sir?
Hi, Komudi. Thanks for the welcome, and I'm doing good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Som is the co-founder at Infinite AI and data leader with 17 plus years of experience in AI, machine learning, and data analytics. Som is a leading voice in transforming data into real business value. As co founder of Infinite, he helps organizations unlock smarter decision making through simple, practical AI solutions. His career spans global roles from leading data science and AI strategies at Kmart Group Australia to building analytics teams at eValue Serve and Target US. Passionate about education, Som actively mentors aspiring data scientists, especially those with limited access to learning. A believer in experimentation, both in life and data, he brings energy, expertise, and empathy to every challenge he takes on. It's so nice to know about you.
Thanks, Komudi. I'm very flattered by the introduction, I must say. Thank you.
Right. So we will just start our interview on AI. So, firstly, I would like to ask you, what role do you think AI will play in your industry in the next few years?
Right. So I think any industry, not just our industry, right? So I think whether it's retail, whether it's finance, whether it's in data science, or any other industry like healthcare, I think one of the most important thing is AI has to solve the problems of the customer, which it has already been doing, but it's really about how does it enhance the customer experience more and more, and that's where the entire focus of AI will lie in the future. For example, it is no longer about the right recommendations to the customer, right? It is about the right recommendation at the right time via the right channel. And companies which are able to make customer journeys seamless will definitely have an edge in the future. If I take an example from an Indian context, right? So let's say a customer is purchasing from Reliance Trends from an apparel standpoint, and that customer also is going to a Reliance Digital. So as Reliance, it is important to understand that how do I make that particular customer's journey seamless across both the platforms where that customer is coming and shopping with us or with Reliance in that particular case, right? So it means how am I able to, as Reliance, how am I able to use offers or product bundles and get discounts that is relevant for that customer, that is timely for that customer, and that is meaningful for the customer, right? So I think that is something that's going to definitely change the game. And imagine that customer being on Geo Hotstars. How can you make product bundles even lucrative for that customer? So that is very important. So a seamless collaboration strategy with the customer is going to change the game. Now, while you do that, what it definitely means is that you are going to expand your data a lot more than what it is today because you are connecting the entire customer across multiple platforms, which means that the data strategy for the companies is going to be more and more crucial. It is crucial today as well, but it's really going to define how better data a particular company has, that is actually going to define how better outputs that particular AI model can give for that particular company, right? So, which means that today also you will see that there's so much of information down overload, right? That there's so much of information, it becomes nearly impossible to understand what is the right information for me as a company to take, right? So it's important. Then what becomes crucial at the next stage is how can we make information more actionable? So actionable insights becomes very important, right? With all those information overload, what is the right strategy to get the right information and the right action out of that information? So that's something that's going to really be crucial in the future.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Nextly, I would like to ask you, what challenges does your industry face while using AI?
I think the two challenges that really comes on top of my mind is one is data quality. So because it really is about if you give garbage, it will be garbage in, garbage out, right? So data quality is a crucial challenge. It's still not there, and with the advent of so much of unstructured data. So today the data is really not no longer a tabular format. The data is multimodal. What I mean by multimodal is it is text, it is audio, it is video, and whatnot, right? So all of this data makes it very um, difficult for a company to actually ensure that we have the right data quality. So the data quality is one of the challenges that I have seen across the board companies face in terms of how do they ensure the right data is coming out of the system. And it just doesn't come out of one system, right? There are multiple different systems where the data gets collected from, and then it gets synthesized and all of that. So all of that data quality is a very crucial thing, and that's something that all companies are facing challenges. The second thing is, I think the right at the end of the spectrum, which is adoption, right? Which is more to do with change management. Now, any AI models or any AI outputs, at the end of the day, it is of no value if a particular business is not using it, if the consumer is not using it, if the user is not using it. So, which means that you have to really ensure that you train your workforce in such a way that they're able to use that particular output so that the actual value can be generated. So, I think this is one in the upstream, which is the data quality that's the company is facing challenges, and the other is in the downstream, which is the change management with the users. And if these two are not getting fixed properly, then in the middle where the AI is doing its job, you'll not be able to generate the actual value out of it.
Wow, what a broad perspective, I must say.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, nextly, my question is, how can companies help their employees get ready for a future with AI?
I think the one of the things that all companies really need to focus on is the continuous learning, right? You might have seen that recently a lot of the CEOs from quite a few companies have actually started to send emails to their entire workforce that you have to upskill yourself in AI or using AI tools, not necessarily just being able to write any code or something, but at least being able to understand how to use some of these tools. That's something that's going to be very prominent from now on, which is a continuous learning. So all employees, irrespective of whether their companies are asking them to do or not, in order to stay relevant in the market, they will have to focus on continuous learning. And what I mean by continuous learning is not just from the tech standpoint, but both tech and business standpoint, both the technology and the business. So, and which means that if a particular team member or an employee is on the path of continuous learning, which means that particular team or team member will do a lot of experiments. So there needs to be a culture of experimentation in the company, and experiments will fail. That's the innate definition of an experiment, right? So the company needs to be able to accept that then there will be failures, but as and when your workforce is getting upskilled in this tech and this business domains, you will do more experimentation. Some of it will build, but some of it will definitely give you returns. So I think that continuous learning is something that they should focus on.
Okay, okay, absolutely. Um, what advice do you have for young people who are entering your industry about AI? Because nowadays we can see that Gen Z and the Gen Alpha, which is the upcoming generation, and also our generation, we are highly dependent on like platforms like Chat GPT or etc. on AI for like simplest of simplest things in everyday life. So, what are your suggestions for the youth?
I think my advice will be to stay curious and embrace AI as a tool. So it's really not just about the technical skills. Understanding how AI fits into the broader business landscape is crucial. Um, AI gives you an edge, there's no doubt, but how you can use it to solve real world problems will set you apart. So take the time to learn, experiment, and ask questions. One of the crucial things, in my opinion, is there's no shortcut to AI. I've seen a lot of posts or a lot of influencers saying that 15 minutes learn Python, or 30 minutes or 2 hours learn this and that. There's no shortcut to learning AI. It takes a lot of time. It takes your energy. It takes your effort and all of that. So give that effort, and you will get that particular return for sure. Stay hungry and stay curious. You will get the result.
Yeah, perfect, perfect. Lastly, I would like to conclude the interview by asking you, what industries do you think will benefit the most from AI?
I think all of them for sure, in some shape or form. This is why you see even governments spending and investing a lot today. But if I have to pick one or two industries, let's say while definitely retail, finance, logistics, energy, everybody is riding the wave right now and gaining a lot of the returns. Um, but one of the I think healthcare will emerge as one of the key industries that will be transformed with AI. The reason why I think healthcare is going to be one of the most important industries is because um, it is just not going to be limited to the healthcare professionals, whether it's doctors, nurses, or any workforce related to healthcare. It is also going to be democratized in terms of we who are non-healthcare professionals using AI for healthcare. Example is there's been quite a few reports recently where doctors, with all due respect, have probably not been able to diagnose a couple of diseases in a short span of time, and it's rightly so because they will probably go need to go through a lot of tests and reports and all of that. But when a couple of patients actually uploaded those reports into ChatGPT, they got some direction of what might have happened or what disease might have happened to that particular patient. It's transforming the healthcare system in a way that it's not a, it's enabling patients or the common persons to actually ask the right questions to the healthcare professionals. And I think that's going to change the way we collaborate or we relate to the doctors. And I think that's something that's going to change. The other part that I think is the startup ecosystem. There's so much of AI tools and productivity tools that are available right now. You will see a lot of um, small workforce startups. So startups which are very, very lean and thin, not many people, they are going to thrive a lot because a lot of the startups have started to using AI agents. And agents is going to change the game in a lot of different ways. You can actually do a lot of different things via agents if you define the agents correctly. I'm not saying agents are definitely going to take a lot of the workforce out. What I'm saying is if you know how to use the agent and you can actually do a human and AI collaboration via the agents, I think you will see a very, very thin and lean startups taking the game to the next stage. I think these are the two areas that we need to watch out for.
Okay, wow, wow. Very, very broad perspective. What a fantastic answer, sir. Yeah, it was a lovely interview. I hope the viewers are getting a very good insight from this. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thanks, Comedy. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, thank you.